But
Okay.
was you
Yeah,
able
it
to hear
said
me?
Steve. It was Stephen A. Smith.
Huh?
I was able to hear some of it, but yeah, yeah, it was saying his parents from the Virgin Islands.
So um, his parents from the Virgin Islands. Then his maternal grandmother was white, so I guess his mother, Virgin Island and white. It's possible that his grandmother was raped or some shit, or mama was raped or something. I don't know. Possibly. The rest of his grandparents black, and again we
Yeah.
go against classification. So when we talk about Stephen A, and this is what I was trying to tell you. This is what I was trying to tell you. Delineation is important because I don't know how it was with people before Africans started coming here after the '60s, and Caribbean people started coming here after the '60s, and whatever people would sprinkle here before then, after we were freed from slaves. I don't know our relationship, but somehow today they seem anti-Black American. Let's just say that. So Pan Africanism could have been a thing, but again, I say America prevents. They probably got this diaspora award one. You know what I'm saying? Ideally, we should be able to unite with every melanated person in the world because we all suffer under a system of white supremacy via anti-blackness. But like I say with my coworker, who should take the first step? You know what I'm saying? I don't see leaders from Africa. I don't know Nelson Mandela, and I'm gonna look more into him. But was he openly inviting Black Americans to come to Africa and say, "Let's build for us as Black people"? I know Americans have, but have Africans actively done it? Same thing with Caribbeans. And I talked to, I did a 6 month stint down in Florida, going around in different cities. I went to Miami, no Black Americans. I went to West Palm Beach. I literally was around the corner from Donald Trump. I rode past. I got videos of me riding past, or photos of me riding past Mar-a-Lago. Beautiful place, right across from the water, fresh fish, and you could openly go swim over there. Right
Hmm.
down the street was Epstein Island. No Black Americans. And it
Ghetto,
is a
right?
ghetto right down the street from him. You know, um, I went to Orlando for a little while. That was more Black Americans, but it's a tourist area. You know what I'm saying? Then I went to Plant City, and then I went to Lakeview, a place called Lakeview.
Yeah, Lakeview in Florida. Yep, I know about Lakeview.
Yeah, I was down the street from Don King. So,
Fuck Don King.
well, you could say that, but Don King didn't do nothing no different than any other Italian or white promoter. Here's the difference. Don King get the word, like I said about Ike Turner. Don King get the worst rap.
No, he's an innovator, and he's
And who's to say that he wasn't working for it? He had no choice but to be the face for somebody else. But you got it.
Well, I ain't mean to cut you off. I just had to say that.
No, go ahead, because I want to know. Don King is a topic that I would have always wanted to have with somebody.
I don't like talking about Don King. I just look to me. He's definitely a great promoter, but he's a con man too, though. But
But it's no different. And again, like I said, who's to say that he wasn't working with those Italians? You know, them Italians will beat your ass. Matter of fact, if you watch the Don King movie that Ving Rhames did, he went up against the Italian man in the beginning. He the dudes, like nigga, here you take this money. Like the deal was this. He like, no, this you're gonna take what I give you. And Don King said something, and then my man smacked him, and then Don King pulled his fist back like he about to do something. You like, oh yeah, you want to fuck with us? You want to fuck with us? It was in that movie. So even the toughest black man, he killed a black man over goddamn $50, I think. And they put that in that movie too. He did prison time for it. He could kill us, but he won't. He know what line to not cross. America prevents. And coming from wherever he probably came from, you think that he wouldn't take the opportunity given to him?
Well, I ain't realize.
I hate what he did to Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, and so many others below them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mike Tyson and so many people below them.
yeah.
But what if it wasn't actually him? Come on. You want to live too. See, the stuff that I was talking about over the last couple of times, revolutionary. We gotta be willing to put our lives on the line. But I'll be a damn fool if I put my line on the line by myself. My family life on the line by myself. And even if you was to join in and put your family life on the line, that's still foolish. 4/5, Malcolm said it. 4/5 of the world isn't white. It's strength in numbers, but somehow the high IQ, what they call whites, figured out a way to divide everybody. And we fell victim, black, melanated, fell victim to the worst. Asians are still able to bond together. America couldn't fuck with them. You know, that Vietnam War, that nothing war, nobody could tell me what the Vietnam War was about. But them Vietnamese kicked America's ass and sent everybody back home drug addicts. And that war is what brought unity to poor black, I'm sorry, to black people and poor whites via death and drugs. You know what I'm saying? When I was down in Florida, I was with a couple of Vietnam veterans. And they so old, and there was one particular cat that told me about a lot of shit, but he would not talk about that war and how it started and what it was about. And honestly, he brushed me off, but I just believed that he didn't know. You know? So, going back to these speeches that I've been naming, Malcolm said, maybe through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we could fight. If violence is wrong, then violence is wrong abroad, which means that we shouldn't never have a war. You know what I'm saying? Even if we have to defend ourselves, we should have never went to Iraq because that's what's basically telling me. If somebody kill you, a brother that I love, right? I just met you, but I love you. And if somebody kill you, and I was to travel from Detroit to St. Louis and kill that person that killed you, I'm in prison for the rest of my
Yep.
life. In defense, or even to prevent you, to make it even better or worse, to prevent you from getting
Yeah.
killed. You know what I'm saying? So we could defend America as a country, but we can't defend each other as family. This is what America said.
Yeah. You can
America
you
prevents.
could go kill like I heard that you could go kill thousands of people, kill women and children in the name of America.
In the name of America. When I was in Job Corps, when I was in Job Corps, um, 2003, 2004, maybe 2005. It was my roommate. I had to get out the room, and I liked this dude. He was a white guy, but he was a veteran, and he went to Iraq, and every night around 2:25, literally on the dot, he couldn't. It wasn't no fake. He wake up screaming and tearing shit up and shit. That's why I had to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Cool guy any other time. Around that time, it was just terrible. You know what I'm saying? And he was battling. He killed kids. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
It's
trying to think
internment.
what's the name of that term? What's the name of that term?
PTSD,
PT. Yeah, yeah. He had that shit.
post something
Post
syndrome.
traumatic
Yeah, I mean, you do. But post traumatic.
stress syndrome.
Yep. Imagine how many black people got that. Now, you got to know, black people don't trust doctors. This is that America prevents. Black people are in a position where we don't. Ooh, we was talking about the medical earlier. I wish we had expanded on that because we at the point to where we used to patch each other up. Now we don't trust doctors, so we don't go get colon, get your colon checked, and which is detriment to us specifically. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because they tell us it's wrong. You get what I'm saying? Um, Mental health is. I went through therapy. I went through three different therapists because two of them I just couldn't. You know what I'm saying? This is no connection. We in there. You see how I am. I could joke around all goddamn day, and that's pretty much what we was doing. And then there was just this one lady, and she was a white lady that I was just joking around with and talking with, but she was having me figure this stuff out on my own. You get what I'm saying? In essence of me just talking, and I seen things in a different way. So I see the value in mental health
Yeah, that's
and
what Duke was talking about. Had the things mental health that he had to check and stuff.
got to. You got to. We got problems that we can't talk with. I got sections. You get what I'm saying? I could talk with my wife about certain things that I can't talk to my brother about. I got things that I could talk to my brother about that I can't talk to my wife about. It's the same with my mama. I could talk to my mama about something. I could talk with my wife, brother, circle, circle, circle. And that shit
Yeah.
frustrating. The third party who have professional this that skills, this and the other, could get me to see things that nobody else will be able to get me to see. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just something that's just missing. And but thing is, especially with children, they want to take you and drug you. You know what I'm
They
saying?
drugged me when I was a
They,
kid, man. They used to say I was too hyper. They put me on Ritalin.
how are you now?
I'm cool. I'm cool, but I wish I never had to take. I wish I never took that shit because I don't know if that shit did any type of damage to my ass or something. Who knows?
But your parents probably didn't know what to do,
Yep.
right? And they could think that that's the key because they didn't know what to do. Sometimes I wanted to listen. The other day when I did the space, Negro was up here. I want you to follow him too. I'm gonna send you a link to him, and y'all need to connect. You can just read through his shit and see what time he on and all that other different stuff. But I did that whole speech in 30-minute monologue, and then my nephew, I was waiting on his daddy to come pick him up, but he come running outside. I do it outside, running outside, no shoes, no shirt. It's cold. Then I gotta, I keep muting and all this other different shit. So I had to start all over. You get what I'm saying? That's why I was so out of it when I was doing it. I had to start all over. And I mean, I had to chase him around and all that because he won't sit down. He, what, 3, 4 maybe? So I had to chase him around. He want to play. People could take that and say that he's hyper. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't even shit. But it's still frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing something. And we don't know how to handle shit because America prevents. Spare the rod, spoil the child. And so I can't whoop his ass, especially, and that's not even my child. You know what I'm saying? He in my care. And I don't do what I don't do. And, I'm just saying, if they do pick up that phone, I'm a criminal. America prevents. So you got a lot more knowledge, obviously, about me when it come down to Native Americans, Indians. I don't know what they'd like to be classified as
Cherokee.
because I don't know about them. I just know that there is a section in Michigan that has Indians and they get money and they are nothing but drug addicts and
Well, I ain't
alcoholics.
talking about them, but like
Well, just tell me everything that you know because I do want to start learning about this
they
stuff.
prefer to be called Cherokee. The Cherokee.
Well, isn't that just one specific tribe?
It's several tribes, but they like the because you got they don't like Indians because you actually got people from India that are called Indians as well.
Right. I wondered about that.
So yeah, they don't really like being called Indians.
So if I call somebody else from another tribe, just straight up, just hey, how you doing, Cherokee? They wouldn't take it as offense.
Not that I know of from what I've experienced. No,
So do you have a portion of Indians in St. Louis?
I got
Like you're close
I
to?
got that in my family.
Okay. Do you did your DNA?
Hmm.
You did your DNA?
Yeah, I did my DNA.
What is it?
I'm like I got some white folks in my family. I think like my great great grandfather was white,
Mm-hmm.
but the rest of my like I think my mom said her great grandfather was white, but the rest of my family is black. I'm talking about my direct family. I ain't talking about like my
Yeah.
cousins and shit like that.
Do it have anything else? Do it show anything Asian, Australian, African here? Like, what do? Because I got mine and I had mine in the car for it, and I'm probably not gonna put this shit on YouTube because I'm trying to figure shit out. But the first one I am. I think everything that we did up there was productive. But I got mine in the car and I had it for the last 2 or 3 months. I just won't do it. It's in my glove compartment. Um, I'm going off of. I got a lot of older people in my family. My grandmother is 86, 87. My other grandmother is 75. She turning 76 in a couple of weeks.
Are you lucky? None of
And
my
they are in
grandparents are
that.
alive anymore.
We the same
Yep.
age. My grandfathers died early. They died in 2000 and 2001. My great grandparents, my great grandfather was born in 1919 on my daddy's side. Oh, man, it's too much to get into. My other grandma was 1917. His wife was 1917, and they lived into their 90s. My granddaddy died in 1997. My great grandma died in 1997. I'm sorry, 2007. So I had them a good. We used to be over their house, fucking one TV, goddamn turn the dial, and if you missed the channel and all that other different shit. You know, it was boring as fuck. That's why I don't understand these kids today. My kids got every fucking thing up under the sun. How and why are you bored? You know what I'm saying? How? How? Nigga, we had 3 channels, 4 channels. You feel me?
Yeah, because
After cartoons went over, it was some bullshit. We went
it's
outside.
always the new shiny object that's always distracting. Like you gotta have that. Yeah. So,
And I never got past the 7th board on Sonic, so I went
yeah,
outside.
you just suck. That's all that is.
Whatever, nigga. Shit, I just I bet you I was getting my dick jacked.
Man. Like I said,
But that's good, no, because that's bad for the community too. But we was kids, you know.
yeah, and you live and you learn. But yeah, I checked it. That my great, not my great grandfather was like white. So like I don't know what percentage of white is in my blood or not. What that is, but
And your experience, but your experiences and your closeness. Because I wonder, like, do you know? I'll be one to ask mixed people, and I don't talk to a lot of mixed people. You know, the IWC is afraid of me because you can see my approach. I don't bullshit when it comes down to talking about wrestling, other than the racial aspect. But then the racial aspect kick in, and then that's just too damn. You know, I hate real on all fronts. So the IWC is afraid. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's cool because I don't need y'all. So, um,
yeah, because certain spaces, like if you want to talk, they gonna probably want you to tone it down.
well, I look at your spaces as an example. Y'all had whatever y'all had going on, and people once they figured out they couldn't challenge what it was. Wait a minute, this wasn't the acceptance. Let's go back to talking about wrestling. They probably started their own little space and started talking about wrestling. And I understand that. That's
No,
cool.
no, you had my boy though. I don't know what he was thinking. He was like, man, I remember when Vince was in charge, he was pushing this black talent. I'm like, oh my god, why do you say that?
You say what happened?
Nah, one of my boys on there, he was talking about like he was like, because I remember he said when Vince was in charge, he was trying to push more black talents to Triple H, and I was like, oh god,
No, well, I mean, first of all, you got to realize it's a lack of understanding. Too. You got to remember people's experiences and all this other different shit. Everybody don't experience everything. Like I said, I could talk to my young children about anything, and their white children in their schools will show them
yeah,
difference. You know what I'm saying? It's a lack of understanding too.
yeah, it just
But when I exploit this shit and then you continue, you know what I'm saying?
it,
Like it's a difference. I could tell, like let's take Duke for example. Perfect example. You could tell Duke is a wrestling fan.
yeah,
At the same time, you could tell. I mean, you could tell he's a hardcore wrestling fan. AEW, come on, now, I don't get no hardcore
yeah,
than that. But at the same time, I love Duke. You could tell he know what time it is too. He could recognize the difference. And like I said, I really literally tried to just talk about wrestling for a minute, but then certain shit is you can't help it once you know. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? Once you know, he brought up the women's division, and I immediately thought, Athena, white folk gonna sit up here and tell me that Athena is the best wrestler, women's wrestler in the world. You talking about a victory with no victory. It's a victory that you could talk about, but it's a victory that I can't see. So when you look at that top 10 women's wrestler, shit, well, you're telling me that she's number 10. A couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, a couple of days ago, you was telling me that she was number 1. Just to tell me that AEW isn't racist.
Yeah, because
In
it's
order for me
silly.
to see, in order for me to see Athena, I gotta add another bill. You get what I'm saying? Oh, I gotta add another bill.
Yeah, and it's silly because it's like if she's so great, put her on AEW television, feature her. Like, what is you doing? Like, oh,
Make her a challenge for the
and
women's
then they
title.
say, oh well,
You know,
she's
make her a challenge for the TNT title. Let her build the TNT championship.
yeah.
You
They were
know,
saying like, oh well, she's building up the ROH women's. Who gives a fuck about ROH?
she held the women's title. She held that title longer than any other Ring of Honor champion ever held
And
a title. She just beat them all.
nobody gives a fuck.
I can't name one match, and this is not just me being a hardcore. This is not me being against being a hardcore wrestling fan, nigga. I'm not. Listen, I'm not about to pay for that
No.
shit because, in essence, that's my only uh interest in Ring of Honor. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm paying for it just to watch the whole fucking show.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying? I'm paying for one specific person. I don't even buy OnlyFans from porn free. What the fuck? And I got a wife at home, so what the, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
so,
So got me fucked
yeah,
up.
it's just it's
That video gonna pop up somewhere that I wanted to
yeah,
see.
yeah, and it's like okay when it comes to I ain't trying to get off of what you wild man, but hey, she like 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 they had her in WWE and then she they didn't do much with her so she got released and she went over to AEW. And my thing is you could say she always champion, but shit, I still think she was better booked than WWE because she was at least on television. Shit, the NXT championship, the NXT Women's Championship is more valuable than the ROH Women's Championship. And so, like people say, oh, she's
When you talk about the lowest of the low, because like I said, I always
no,
say that white folk or handkerchief head pecker Tom niggers always reach all the way down to NXT to
no,
discover black success. Well, Ring of Honor is much lower.
yeah, yeah. So what I was saying is that now I'm not saying she was great in WWE. My point
No, I
is
got you.
all these people that are trying to act like, oh, she's on this super high level now. Like, no, she's not. No, she's
Yep.
not.
Well, that's the same thing. Well, see, perfect example. That's the same thing with Jay Kurgan. Well, oh, she held the TNT championship and she was undefeated and da 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 da. It was no substance. In WWE, she got some substance. We may not like necessarily like what she doing, but the casuals like, damn, who is this bitch? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And we want to see more.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So you right. Substance is the
yeah,
key. That's the main thing, and especially when it comes down to wrestling with racism, especially when it comes down to racism. Period. If you genuinely mean that we are equal in America, where's the substance?
yeah. So yeah, when it
Educational field, health field. You know what I'm saying? Where's the
yeah, so yeah,
substance?
when it comes to Athena's case, you could y'all the marks on the internet could tell me how great she is, how many matches she won. I don't give a shit. Like when she broke the little ROH record, I didn't give a shit because it's like, who is she wrestling against? Like and like work, and I'm not paying extra money to see this shit. Because if she's wrestling against ROH talent, so that means she's not even wrestling the fucking AEW talent. So she's wrestling probably just low level green girls that ain't worth the damn worth watching. Like, who gives a fuck about that?
So I never considered a co-host, right?
Yeah,
And I was thinking about this last night. I've never considered a co-host, and I'm still not considering a co-host yet. I'm considering a co-host because, and we never talked about this. What you just said, and if you go through with wrestling with racism, that's exactly what I said. We have the same mindset. We have two different approaches. We have the same mindset. I'm offering the olive branch, and we could discuss it later. You the truth. You the shit. You are wrestling with racism.
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you. You get it. You get it. And there's a couple of other people that get it, I don't know for sure, but it's two different times. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Uh,
Um, and this is a particular field, because other than that, I got tons on deck. You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? But this is a particular field. So we're gonna talk outside of this, and then we'll work everything out. Yep.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
And I appreciate you. I do, cause you, like I said, you get it. Duke get it. Jamal got it. They do. Y'all are wrestling with racism. Y'all get it. Beyond the bullshit, because at the end of the day, it's still wrestling. So wrestling is what? Kid
Yeah.
shit.
Entertainment. It's just
But
soap opera from for men.
at the same time, men and women and
Yeah.
children. At the same time, it's still white supremacy.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they control, they own everything, and they got all the power,
Like I
and they
said,
control the
I
booking
just
pen.
made this title. I just made this title is the Undertaker
Yeah. Let's talk
racist,
about it.
and whether he say some racist shit or not in this interview, even if it's just the inkling, the black IWC by nature are still going to be fans of the Undertaker. So, and like I said, Hulk Hogan, he could be as racist as he want to now. All the money is, you get what I'm saying? All the money is
Yeah.
made. You can't do shit. You can't
You
touch
can't
me.
cancel 'em.
It's not a crime to be racist. You can't throw me in jail for calling you a nigger. My bad. You can't throw me in jail for thinking that you are a nigger.
All you could do.
You know?
You could do is they could cancel you, or you can't do anything else. But you got so much money, it don't fucking matter. But
They took Kanye West money
yep.
immediately.
Oh yeah.
White supremacy. So let's talk about the Undertaker,
Yeah.
Mark Calloway. Let's talk about Mark Calloway. No, let's talk about the Undertaker. I told you how I felt about the Undertaker. Did I tell you how I felt about him as a wrestler?
You told me about his character.
As a wrestler, he sucked. Now he had some good matches at the end of his life and shit, but he had to open up to be a person to do that shit. Other than that, he sucked. But
Now, why do you
that's
think
my
he
thoughts
sucked
on him.
as a wrestler?
I'm not gonna say that. Undertaker has some great matches. Undertaker is the shit. Um, but between 1990, I think when he came in 1991 and 1994, you gotta remember. People gotta remember that he was in the beginning stages too, still. So he was still
Yeah,
learning.
Frankenstein stuff.
Yeah, and that was fine because it worked for the time. You had to bring him out somehow, and you had to open him up because if he was doing that for 10 years, he wouldn't have made it to 20. You know what I'm saying? So he evolved through time, and that's what I was saying about like Bianca Belair. Okay, we got it now. We finally got something that we never seen before. Now what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Same thing with Tony Storm. If you want to take the racial aspect out of it, we seen the best of what you got. Now what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's a testament to Tony Khan. Right? Going back to the racial aspect.
Yeah, because you see some characters evolve and some don't. Like for example, Sasha Banks ain't never evolved for shit, and then she the same fucking character in AEW. That's it.
And they didn't really give a fuck about her in the WWE either. They gave her symbolics. Let's talk about symbolics. She main evented the first. You get what I'm saying? She did this. But you look at her title reigns, it was very short.
Yeah.
Okay? So That's what you could look at. It was no substance. It's symbolics. It's no substance. So I don't have no go-to matches with Sasha Banks besides Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair. I think in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, like yeah, she had a good match with Bailey.
She has some moments,
She had a good match with
but consistency week to week. So like, remember when I told you that I cared about what the Hardy Boys did every week,
Yeah.
no matter who they
Oh
face?
yeah, no, I'm not really a Sasha Banks fan, but I think she has some good moments though. I honestly and
I cared about Lita.
I'm gonna catch some.
And she didn't have the best of matches all the
No,
time. You get
no,
what I'm
what I'm
saying?
about to say is I'm gonna catch some flack for what I'm about to say
Not for me.
about
Well,
Sasha
wait a minute.
Banks.
Depends on
I'm
what you
about to
say.
get.
You ain't never been no coon, though. You ain't never. This is the longest I ever talked to you, and you still haven't. I mean, like over the last couple of weeks, generally somebody might mistakenly, not even mistakenly, but they got a coon view somewhere here and there. You never had a
I don't
coon
think
view,
you'll think that anyway, because Sasha Banks ain't us anyway. So,
right?
but like I personally, because she got a lot of stan ass fans. I personally think if you watch like
Bitch didn't marry a black man. She showed me her brother. That nigga looked like a retarded. He
no
looked like
no he
one
do
of
he
them.
got he,
He
he
looked like
he
a
got like
fag.
a mental issue though, so that's why I don't like talking about it because he actually do.
He white. Fuck him.
Damn man, come on bro, come on man.
Man, nope. Fuck him. We need to get re-educated. We about to go into a bloody ass 2025. You better stop fucking playing with me. Stop. That's your fucking problem. Stop feeling sorry for these motherfuckers.
Uh,
They don't feel sorry for your retarded
yeah,
ass.
I don't know. I don't know.
Ah.
It ain't that. I just ain't about to, be malicious to him. He ain't did nothing to me, man. But I
Good cop, bad cop. You wrestling with racism.
yeah. But what I was about to say. But what? Oh, the
Yeah,
guy
man,
ain't
I'm
the guy ain't did nothing
playing.
to me.
No, I'm just saying, listen, bro, we gotta listen. I'm gonna talk to you. We're gonna be all right. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but what I was gonna say is because man, you about to give me laughing. I ain't about to laugh at you.
No, I ain't about to get you laughing. I'm about to get you on the real fuck a code, nigga. We about to be up front.
Yeah, but like what I was gonna say about Sasha Banks because her run in AEW is terrible. And I think if you watch her, I think Vince was right about her. Like Vince did not view her as a star.
No, well, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, because she can't wrestle. Let's say though. Let's get that out there.
I ain't say she could.
She can't wrestle. She can. She can.
I
She
didn't say
can.
she couldn't.
The thing is, we do have to give Tony Khan accountability. The motherfucker can't book.
I agree. Yeah,
So so let's just get that and keep that in consideration every time that we talk about anybody from AEW. And let's get serious with it. Who are the creative in
shit. I
AEW?
don't know they creator at all.
There we go. And I just heard Jimmy Jacobs, and I know Jimmy Jacobs personally. Let me tell you something, bro. I used to wrestle. All right. I ain't no big ass name or none of that shit, but I know motherfuckers. I tell you that. So I know Jimmy Jacobs personally, and um, he's a great guy to have on the team. I believe that. And so you fucked that up. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know who his team is. And the thing is, this is why I was trying to ask Duke to first give me insight. I had a list of questions to ask Duke, and Duke is a wrestling fan, but I need him to jump on code on that. Like, nigga, take this step by step, because at the same time, I'm talking to an audience too. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So even though I get what you saying, nigga, we got to keep things in context. And if we had to really fell through this conversation the way that I wanted to, this is why you didn't even know about this. I was talking to him about this last night. You know what I'm saying? We were supposed to do this last night, and he you know couldn't stay in line with that, and that's why it just got fucked up. I guarantee you, by the end of this conversation, he probably wouldn't have watched another AEW show again. I guarantee it, because I can ask you the same questions. I already know your answers, but just to put the questions out, you know, list everything positive and list everything negative. I didn't get to the negative part, but I guarantee you would have listed more negative
Well,
than positive.
there's a whole bunch of shit negative about AEW. I have you here all night, man. You don't want me to listen. You don't want to hear me listen to nothing negative about AEW.
All you gonna be doing is just preaching to the choir.
You
I
want
already
me
know.
to list their negatives?
Yep.
All right, one. Just we already talked about it, but just the wrestlers in general, just not impressive looking, like physique wise, just presence wise. Just like it just like look like a bunch of just dork nerd dweebs. Just like I want to get to giving Hulk Hogan.
Wrestling is for nerds.
I
You go to indie shows, you know how you go to shows, you know how these
Yeah,
motherfuckers is.
I don't want to give Hulk Hogan no damn credit.
Even the black
I don't want to
ones.
give Hulk Hogan no credit because fuck Hulk Hogan. But I remember,
You gotta give him credit. Hulk Hogan was one of the
but he
greatest.
said some of these wrestlers today look like they should be bagging his groceries.
So, with that being said, imagine how he feel about
Yeah,
niggers. If these nerds bag groceries, what do you do with the niggers?
yeah, yeah.
I think that they should. You think that? Do you think he said that they should be bagged and transported? So you could send these little white wrestlers. Oh man, somebody said the other day I was too woke. I said there's no such thing. So my thing is, what if he, meant like white folk, poor whites, bag them up, we'll ship them out.
I don't think he going that like in depth with it, man. I don't think he got.
I'm going in depth with it. Come on now, we talking about a white supremacist.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I think he was just in that context. He was talking about just the wrestling.
You know, did Kamala make money with Hulk Hogan? One of his greatest rivals. That's what white folks say. But did he make money with Hulk Hogan? Undertaker was paid 500,000. This is a famous story.
I thought kind of the Kamal. I saw that. I saw this on Inside Edition. Yeah, yeah, all type of health problems before he died.
You find it funny that Kamala Harris was nominated as vice president the exact same day that Kamala Harris died.
Mm.
The exact same day. Maybe the next day or the previous day. It was one of them days. I never heard about the bitch until that day. And I told my mama, I'm like, my mama was, oh my God, a black woman. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, damn, Kamala just died today and she got the same fucking name. Ain't that a bitch? And now this bitch got potential to run my life. You know what I'm saying? Around my
Yeah,
life.
yeah. Well, that gimmick, Jerry King Lawler, the one created that racist ass fucking gimmick. But
Jerry Lawler is a white supremacist. He a
yeah,
pedophile. And the thing is, he got accusations of fucking a 12-year-old girl. And because the case was dismissed, white folk look at him as the king of Memphis
yeah,
today.
he ain't shit. Fuck him. I,
R. Kelly had these allegations long before the charges in '03, and he was always labeled guilty.
uh,
Come on, stop playing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Jerry Lawler ain't shit. I remember Paul Heyman said in the shoot promo. It said, "Man,
Jerry Lawler was a 50-year-old man married to a fucking 20-year-old woman. Get the fuck out of
yeah,
here. I read Jerry Lawler book. I used to skip school and go to the mall. Went to Barnes and Nobles one time. Ain't nobody come with me this time, so I went to Barnes and Nobles and I read Jerry Lawler book. Read it. That's all I'll say. And he was talking about the relationship with Kat. He been knowing her since she was a teenager. You married this woman. So you knowing her since you were a teenager, bro, you was fucking her since she was a teenager. White people tell you they crimes in the book, and yet they still one of the most beloved people in this world. If you go through my Twitter, I speak of pedophilia a lot. I've never been abused, none of that shit. So white folk sit up here and tell me, black on black crime, 13% of the country, 50 to 60% um, of the murders in America. Okay, these are your all stats, whatever. And I'm in Detroit too, right? What they call the murder capital of the world, or close to it, right? Uh, so I say, okay, mind you, black people take accountability for ourselves. We are more hard on each other about black on black crime than anybody, right? But they won't tell you that. And so, I mean, you got to know what state I'm in right now. Like, a very prominent lady of mine just got killed. She serviced the community, literally. And she got killed just driving down the street. It was a shootout. She got hit while her daughter was driving.
Mm.
So we take accountability more than anybody. Yet society don't see that. White society don't see that. Then we got to take their finger pointing at the shit too. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm scolding my people publicly. And trust me, I'm heated right now. You just don't know, man. I'm tore up inside at us. But um, white folk, when they bring up these black on black crimes, I put they crimes, they white crimes in front of their face. And one of their major crimes is pedophilia. And not saying that that don't go on in black communities. I know. But we pay for our crimes. They don't. And pedophilia is at higher rates than reported. And unlike these murders, pedophilia is reported very high in the white community. So when I bring their crimes in their face, they have absolute. I mean, look through my shit. Just type in the word and look at what answers I get. Do white folk take accountability for killing their wives and their children?
Mm.
And in Michigan, it happens. Oh, trust me, it's reported here on the local news. Right there in Grosse Pointe, it happens a lot in Michigan. The bitch was under the porch for years. But our crimes are the most exploited. These are wasted arguments. That's why I determined I'm about to stop arguing with these white folk. I'm about to stop arguing with these handkerchief head pecker Tom niggers. I pray for them. I have become more, I know it sounded offensive earlier, but I have become more acceptive of gays. Wrestling with racism recognizes that we are dealing with a lot of nerds, right? What we call nerds.
Yeah.
And society, black culture, generally shun them. So as a result of them shunning them, become anti-black. When I first started these spaces, uh, and I wasn't recording them or none of that shit. I wasn't, like I said, this shit just came up. I had a lot of time on my hands during that pandemic, and I just started, and then all that shit just started happening. And then, I just started picking people brains, and then I started noticing. And then after all the shit smoothed out, apparently in the media, I kept doing it, and you get these explosive things. White folk feel the way that they feel, and these Peckertowns feel the way that they feel. Peckertowns got the reasons. You got to think. These wrestling fans, these nerds, get shunned by their people, so they find comfort in the whites. They're regular people, and these are the ones that the whites are more susceptible to accepting because they could go to these whites and be like, "My brother, he's a nigger. He fucking robbed this and da, 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 da," you know what I'm saying? And they gonna keep hyping these people up like they the fucking shit, so they could continue to exploit and be anti-black instead of looking at the root as to why we kill each other, as to looking at the root as to why we steal from each other, as to looking at the root as to why we do this, that, and other. And here's the thing: we don't do nothing no different than white folk do, but white folk don't exploit it. So, if it's a fight between me and you, somebody else, the third party, is more inclined to pull out their camera. White folk not.
Yeah, they're gonna break up the fight.
And probably get their ass whooped doing it. But you're not gonna see it on camera. Black people, when you think of America, in America, the group of people that's used to coming from nothing in place to where we've only been. So when we get a little bit of something or something that we think is something, we yearn. We yearn. And, I was talking about yearning earlier. You know, we wouldn't be yearning for so many people to be champions if it was a normal thing. I wouldn't have to had to shed tears, and I wasn't planning on shedding tears. I just wanted to see the match. It, around all these people, a black man at main eventing, and it was uncertainty if he was going to main event that the weeks leading up to that. You know what I'm saying? When I seen this entrance, the same old entrance that I seen with the tether behind him, tears still just flowed down my eyes because I seen one of me in that setting in a main event, and it was the first time. I should never have had to shed those tears because it should have been normal.
Which match we talking about?
I shouldn't be
Swerve.
swerve.
Oh yeah.
All in.
I actually was at the show where he won the title. Yeah,
Was you?
it was in St. Louis Dynasty.
How did you feel?
I felt like it was something that was a long time. Mind you, Swerve has said some stuff that
He a coon.
uh,
Not only is he a coon, he a token.
uh, I don't like to call too many people cool because it's a strong word to use.
He a coon. He separated himself out of that 500. People took the time to put that list together finally, and he separated himself from it
But,
openly.
but
And when you look at the fact that he is the only successful person at AEW, and when he had success, he didn't advocate. Why isn't Lee Moriarty, who's in great shape and could potentially be viewed I'm sorry, could be potentially a great wrestler if he was presented as such. Why didn't you advocate for him? Is Lee Moriarty a disrespectful person in the industry? We don't know, but is he? Is he a bad wrestler? Do he not have potential? Why didn't you advocate for Athena to be on Dynamite? Ooh, shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So you're a token because you're the only one that we looking at to say that AEW isn't a racist organization, and you don't never have to win that championship again for white folk to continue to refer to your 4 month reign. You know what fucked me up with Swerve title reign when he faced Will
Yeah.
Ospreay, and a couple of days after that match, it was
The-
reports that Will Ospreay.
yeah. He requested that match because he got tired of people claiming that he was just holding the title for him to lose it to him and stuff. Yeah. So when that happened, I was like, ooh, just basically said this man title reign ain't shit.
Fuck this whole shit up for me. The entire thing.
All right, but to answer your original question about how did I feel the moment that it happened, like I said, because even though I have some ways I feel about Swerve, I was happy that we black people had that moment because I was thinking about like you know not just me but like kids that could see this moment and people who didn't think they would see a moment like this.
So
They'll
look at
have that
his
memory.
title. Look at his title. Where notice, and you may have had the different feeling because you were there. But when he won that title, and I did a program. Oh man, oh my God! If you heard, I did a few episodes with this guy. I call him Pecker Tom Ron. His name Ronnie. God, he terrible. Just I'll send you one of his episodes. But I laid all the Swerve title reign down. I just switched Brian Danielson with Will Ospreay, right? I laid his title reign down to the T, and that's exactly how it was presented. And you go check the episode out and look at the date of it, and
But
you
like
you could tell.
I tell
You know
you
what I'm
this
saying? Because
though, I don't mean to cut you off. I gave up on Swerve title reign the first Dynamite that he was champion. And
yep, didn't he
no, he
open the
didn't even
show?
open the show. But I'll tell you why I gave up on it. And it was I was telling people title reign is a joke because they did this and people were like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. They even had some like
Wait, he didn't open the show with like
I
Kyle
like Orange
O'Reilly or
Cassidy
something.
shit, but I don't even want to get into the Orange Cassidy shit. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't take Swerve title reign seriously, and people who disagree with me, I think you're a fucking idiot, personally. So the first moment Swerve was champion, the first thing they did is they had him have a match with Kyle Fletcher that went 15 minutes. That was a back and forth competitive match. And mind you, huh?
Yeah, Kyle Fletcher. No, that's what I said Kyle O'Reilly, but it isn't Kyle
Yeah,
Fletcher.
yeah.
They
So
all the same.
mind you, this was when they were still doing records. They don't do they don't show the records no more. So Kyle Fletcher literally never wins on television. Like never wins at all. So you were basically
Right.
telling the whole world that's watching that there's literally no difference between our world champion Swerve Strickland and a basically a jobber that never
Uh-huh.
wins on television. I was like title reign dead in water. They're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You had some. It was some fucking fruitcake. He got one of those. I almost said the f word. Uh,
From what I remember, no
yeah,
promo,
he
no
did it. He did it
celebration.
on Collision, like because they said it was gonna get an NBA lead in or something. So they did it on Collision. The show
I
nobody
remember that.
fucking watches. But so
To this day, I never seen it. That's how much I
yeah,
didn't give a
so
fuck.
so basically, it was some. I'll go ahead and say it. I don't give a fuck. Some fag was in my mention. called,
You wrestling with racism, boy. You
So so
wrestling with
so
racism. We're gonna get
so
you
he
together.
he
Go
was he
ahead.
was in my pictures talking about his name Twitter name was All Elite Eric, and he commented, "Oh man, Kyle Fletcher's amazing." I'm like, who cares? He's the ROH TV champion though. What the fuck that's supposed to mean? This is your world champion who just won the title. If you're gonna have him go out and have a match, he should have a match where he just go out and squashes somebody. And it
I love Christian. Christian always been one of my favorite wrestlers of all times, even over Edge. I love Christian. I do. I love what he's doing right now. If anybody is doing, Tony Khan did Christian better than anybody else.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that feud I wasn't upset about. Even though I look at, I think that would his group. The thing about Swerve is, you know, Swerve had Keith Lee, nowhere to be found. Swerve had those big white guys, big Brock Lesnar looking guys, nowhere to be found. Swerve had those big two Congo go, whatever
No,
the fuck
no,
they are,
yeah, Brian
nowhere to be
Cage.
found. You know, they tried a lot of shit with Swerve, and he organically got over, but there was never no substance to this day behind Swerve. Why did he take those couple of weeks off after he lost the title? Why isn't his goal Hangman out on Page or the AEW World Championship since he
Mm,
came back? You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got some niggers and we got to capitalize on the WWE shit.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is the whole reason why they getting Lashley and all them
Well, you
anyway.
know they paid Swerve some money, so he'll shut up and be a good old boy though.
You know what I'm saying? And this is what we facing with right now. And that's why I want to invite it, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. And they're not going to get it on the first day, but hopefully one day they get it soon. It's got to happen right now.
Well, someone like Montez Ford, that's hard to reach though because you got your wife that's like a star in the company. So if you call some,
Well, she need to be on the same tip too. That's what's going to get it together. Gonna love every day, every night till we get it together.
yeah, but he probably looking at it. I don't want to fuck her shit up.
America prevents. You know what I'm saying? America prevents. You know, he don't want to leave the Street Profits because he don't want to fuck Angelo Dawkins up. And that's a fucked up thing to um thought process to have when I should probably think that maybe they should feud for the world title. You know, the you know, you got rivals. Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan was able to feud for decades. Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan was able to feud for decades. Randy Orton and you got to know that John Cena about to go on a very spectacular run. You know, um, him and Randy Orton have been able to feud for decades. Do they have the ability to have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill feud for decades? You know, what's going to happen with Bianca Belair? Let's talk about it. What's going to happen with Bianca Belair and or Jade Cargill once this feud is said and done? What's going to happen with Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson once they can't team up anymore? You know what I'm saying? On top of Bianca Belair, and what's going to happen with Naomi? I mean, look where we at now. You know what I'm saying? You got the potential to make everybody shine. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And we talking about a year from now. I'm not talking about 10 years from now because I don't see any of them being there 10 years from now. Do you agree?
Agree. I agree, but shit, do they want to be there 10 years from now? Shit, when you start getting older, do you want to still take bumps in a fucking wrestling ring?
Well, that's my thing about black wrestlers. Like, do you want white folk sweat continuing to get in your fucking mouth? White folk bougie by nature, but we just bougie because white folk nasty.
Like me, like me, if I was advising Bianca Belair, you getting your name out there and stuff like that. If I was advising her,
You saying that like you want to be her husband.
I ain't gonna say I wouldn't mind, but
This nigga said if I like she ain't got a whole ass
no,
husband.
no,
Mind you, her husband can't advise her to walk out this motherfucker.
no. But I was if I was advising her within the next 3 years, making sure you got your agents and everything, because she a talented woman. She's just outside of wrestling, like she got a lot of stuff she could do. Like she make all her own ring gear and shit like that. She could be
I mean, when I say spectacular, this is what we
uh,
do.
like she could start her own little clothing line business and all the like.
Is Charlotte Flair making her gear?
I don't think so.
Have Ric Flair?
No, Ric Flair definitely ain't. He's famously told some people who make his gear and stuff. So
So let's stop playing with it. We talking about white supremacy. Black people still have to work.
I think she can get people to make her. I think she just likes her own stuff.
All right, none of it, yeah, because that's what black people do. White folk not privileged enough to have to get it out the mud.
Like I think it's more like her creativity. She rather be.
But okay, so you say her creativity can do this woman have an opportunity to create a brand?
That's what I'm trying to get at, man. That's what I'm trying to get at. So what I was saying is that if I was advising her within the next 3 years, working while you got this WWE stage that you on, try to be working on creating that brand, and because she's talented, and she could showcase all this other stuff while she's under this WA umbrella, because it can get her in other places that it would be much harder to if she was just trying to do it on her own. And
Mm-hmm.
work on that. By the time next 3 4 years, you could be making your own money, more money than what the fuck they gonna try to give to you, and because they gonna try to lowball her when her whatever her contract. Like we ain't dumb enough to not think that. So you could, and if they try to do that, you could be like, fuck you, and have your own shit, and don't need they ass for nothing.
America prevents. America prevents. America prevents. And
Come on, man. Don't be
even
the pessimist,
if
man.
why? Like I said, look throughout history. Why? Why? Look throughout history until we need how many how many Negro, American Negro families do you know that generated generational wealth in America, despite what all we created?
And we got to make the change, man. We can't just give up, man.
Okay, I feel you. So I got a question for you. You got a thorn on your side, on the side of your hip. You could move around with that thorn in your side. It's uncomfortable, it hurts, but you could do it. You get up and go to work every day, right?
Yeah.
If you got an opportunity, are you gonna pull that thorn out your side? Or are you just gonna continue to be like, oh, well, I could make it through this? And I say that in the instance of we done marched, we done cried, we done prayed, we done tried to be family with these people. Hey, let me marry into this. Try to be friends with this. I understand your pain. You got cancer. Oh my God, my mother had cancer. You know what I'm saying? We did everything. And I may have my individual successes, but we as a people, when I look at it as a people, 13% is still the same. It's people that have, like I said, listen, they killed Martin Luther King and they killed Medgar Evers. Peaceful route. They killed Huey P. Newton. They killed Nat Turner. Revolutionary. You understand?
Yeah, I killed Dr. Sebi too, but people ain't ready for that conversation.
I am. But we already know what time it is. And Elon Musk can hear you. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, earlier I didn't get a chance finish the chance to finish saying this, but yesterday it's another guy that I follow. Like I said, first of all, I follow everybody that I follow, not who follow me. Okay, um, and I'm still vetting some of the people that follow me, but and start going into these spaces that I go into. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Not wrestling. I don't, I don't go into wrestling spaces. I do my own, and then that is what it is. Other than that, hey, there's some real shit going on. And the things that we are talking about right now, we don't have to add wrestling into it in these other spaces. You know what I'm saying? So there are like-minded people like you. Um, my thing is this. Oh fuck, I forgot what I was about to say. What was right before that? What was I saying?
You were saying it was like-minded people like me, and you was talking about the
No,
spaces you go into,
before then.
and talking about the
Before that.
like issues and stuff. And
Oh
people, and
fuck.
people, and people you follow, and
It
vetting.
was something very specific. It was something very specific. I remember all that, but it was something very specific. It was a reason. It was something that I was gonna tell you out of all of that. But fuck. I don't know, man. I had a very specific thing, and it's just not there right now. But you already know what time it is, and like I said, just these are all moot conversations at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
Because you still got to eat. The family still got to eat.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I agree. And the thing is, and all this stuff is important. And what the somebody honking. Mm. But
Let's be honest.
but yeah, and I always I'm paying attention to things and stuff like that. But sometimes I'd be wanting to get away from it too, though, because man, you think about it too much, it could depress your ass. So much of this stuff.
Well, you got to look at what field I'm in. And along with this field, it's not just me talking. This is coming from living. This is coming from me reading. I don't, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Shit. I got to get the keys. Hold on one second. All right, my bad.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. You okay? Hold on one second.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. All right, my bad. Damn, I forgot again. um, I don't know. Like I said, a lot of this stuff just be irrelevant because we got a lot of things that prevent. We, like I said, America prevents. So no matter what conversation we have, and we could devise all of these plans, even on the platform that we talking about right now, and then even if I make it public or not, you know what I'm saying? It's already public. People know how we, as individuals, think or feel. So they always got the upper hand. You get what I'm saying? Um, Let me go back to natural talent right quick, so we could fall into a place. And if I remember the certain things I want to say, then it'll come up. What the fuck? Okay, so just so we could fall into a certain place. This is one of the questions that I always ask. And I think we talked about it before, but let's just do this for the sake of a program, okay? How do you believe that wrestling fans will feel if there were 10 to 15 successful, individually successful black melanated Negroes, people, um, successful in the WWE or AEW or wrestling overall at one time? I always give a low number. I always say 7, 10. Let me say 15 to 20.
You said 15 or 20?
Yes.
Nah, that ain't never happening.
That's not my question. I need you to be specific. How do you think the locker room? I'm about to elevate the question. Because the locker room got to be feeling something now. You know what I'm saying?
I can't
Nothing is
I
being
can't
reported, but the locker room got
I
to be
can't
feeling
speak on the
something
locker
now.
room, but as far as
Especially with women.
I can't speak on the locker room, but I know the fans. Some are gonna be. They not gonna be a fan of it because the shit. Like if a certain black wrestler has too much success, they gonna find some way to shit on it anyway. So they gonna start calling them overpushed and overrated and all that. So
So, me to you, how can you remain a wrestling fan on those terms, knowing I get that you love wrestling, but at the same time, you black first. And I know that wrestling could be a relief from the bullshit that you're tired of thinking of, and that just helped me, that just helped me come back to one of the things that I was gonna say. But I know that you tired of thinking. I know that you tired of talking about certain shit, all this other different shit, and that's where I'm at right now. And like I said, I was gonna take a break, a hiatus from wrestling with racism, for a couple of weeks until this election was out the way, because that's what's frustrating me the most right now. To be honest. Um, but I did this with Duke, and like I said, it's just like I said, nature takes its course. You get what I'm saying?
hmm
Um, to where we are right now. How do you remain a wrestling fan, knowing that Triple H said what he said, knowing that we potentially about to figure the Undertaker out? You know, knowing that I just posed the question to you, and you told me that it's not going to happen. You know that in your heart, and you know that insincerity, and you recognize that all we need is the opportunity. You get what I'm saying? So with it being as many of us being successful at one time, that's based off of opportunity, right? How do you remain a wrestling fan from this second? How do you watch wrestling
Well,
after that?
because I know this probably gonna be something you disagree with.
Talk to me.
Like I watch wrestling as just as a form of escape. It is something that I enjoy watching, and I always definitely want the most for black talents, and I definitely do want them to get succeed and to get pushed to their best of their abilities and all that. However, I can't just say, oh, I'll just stop watching if it's like not gonna be certain number of black talents being pushed all at the same time, because I don't know. I guess it's like a drug or something. Probably addicted. I don't know.
It's a drug. So you, in essence, in order for your sanity of everything else, right? You willing to settle?
But I just look at it as more so as entertainment. So it's not like I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
Willing to settle, right? So let's go TV show, modern or past. When you add everything up, is your entertainment black or is it white?
Well,
Or is it completely mixed?
most of the
Talk about majority.
majority is definitely black for sure.
Well, there we go then. That's your nature. Like I said, D'Lo Brown was never presented as a WWE champion or a potential. Same with the Godfather, same with Farouk, same with this, that, and the other, like whatever black people we see. But the thing is, they were my highlights of the program. And this is when I'm 10, 9, 11. They were the highlights, and it wasn't me thinking because they was black. It was just natural. It was a natural feeling that I veered them the same way that I wanted to see them, the same way I wanted to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was grateful for The Rock. I was grateful for Booker T. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And that was natural. I wasn't always woke. Didn't have the ability to be. So, and it was. I mean, you can't deny D'Lo Brown. You know what I'm saying? And it made me wonder, they could attribute his lack of success to drugs. But what if Christopher Daniels had of injured drugs?
So Christopher Daniels.
I don't know why I said that. Christopher Daniels is highly underrated, but he's overrated. You know what I'm
You know, you caught me
saying?
off about Christopher Daniels, but it's never gonna be.
I don't know. I couldn't think of a quick because I was gonna say Steve Blackman at first, but his career wasn't shit either. At the worst,
You should have
I'm
used a
just
name
saying.
like Triple H or something like that.
Yeah, if Triple H had a did it, there we go. All right, if Triple H had a ended Josh's career,
No,
would Triple H's career essentially go in the
no.
trash? If the Undertaker, hmm had of ended, let's get on Undertakers. We never do. How do you feel about the Undertaker? Okay, so we got him off as a wrestler, right? You said how you felt about him as a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
How you feel about Mark Calloway from what's been presented?
Not surprising. I mean, he's a good old boy from Texas, man.
So again, how do you remain an Undertaker fan?
And my thing about this is It's not about me being a fan of his or anything. It's more so just separating from what he was and the type of person he is. So I can watch like his match or moments and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna be buying.
Do you see that to be a
But I'm not gonna
problem?
buy like any of his merchandise or anything like
Do you see that to be a
what.
problem? Because when you buy a WWE ticket today, you still paying the Undertaker. He's still being paid by the WWE, and I hate it because and trust me, outside of all this stuff, I'm a fun guy. You get what I'm saying? But reality is sitting in. I got kids. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
the one
And
thing I say about this is all this stuff is got racism in it anyway. So it like you say stop watching wrestling, I should stop watching football, stop watching basketball, stop watching this and that. It'd just be a boring ass fucking life.
that's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's the shit I wanted to bring out you. Um, but these are the choices that's available. America prevents. I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 150%. I'll take you. I could take you a few steps further, and I'm not right now. But I agree, and that's the fucked up part. So,
But you,
I
question
know
is
you didn't hear the last one, the last speech, but did you hear the grassroots?
no, I haven't heard that one yet. But I was gonna answer your question about the Undertaker as a racist. Yeah, racist. I mean, I mean, that wouldn't shock me at all. But cause you got to see how he was raised. I can't think of anybody. He chews tobacco. I ain't trying to.
Man, listen,
He chews.
so we gotta stop towing the line. I'm not. You could tell. I'm not about to toe the line. If you a faggot, you a faggot. If you're gay, you're a faggot. I'm not about to toe the line with nothing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're more direct about it. I'm more of the guy. I gotta have 1,000% proof though, too. Though I don't want to. No.
Why do a white man have to call you a nigger to your face? Like I said, Bob Barker presented on television that he was a very nice white man. But could you double date with his wife? Could you live in his neighborhood?
I mean, I get what you're saying, man. It just
No, that's what it is. That's what it is. So that's what it is, and that it's not the way that it's. America would tell you that that's not the way that it's supposed to be.
yeah, I get it. I just don't like trying to call.
Undertaker and Kane is going to go on here and speak for these white folk. I don't know if I bookmarked it or not. Don't feel like going through all this stuff now, but you go through these white people comments. Like I put up, I can go through this real quick because it did get a lot of traction. So I'm pretty sure it's easy for me to find. Let me see if I can get Jamal up here. Not the Jamal that you know. It's another Jamal. I tagged all the real ones last week with a Frankie Beverly song. I need you. So all of those people in there, you can follow. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Let me get Jamal up here. See if I can. Cannot be invited. God damn it. Let me tag him real quick if he up. And Brick Bro, but I'm not about to tag him right now. But that's another person. Let me see. And these are not wrestling
All
fans,
right.
okay? Well, not I don't know if he a wrestling fan or not, but he don't talk about wrestling. But
No, but like real talk too though. I pay attention to stuff in the world, but man, sometimes man, some of that stuff in the world, if you focus too much on it, man, it'll drive you insane and depress your ass. I be trying not to get that.
well, like I said, that is a matter of fact. This may have been what I got caught up on. It is depressing. Just reading, like I said, it's living. But then when you actually do the research of the shit, like I said, I got deflated, and I did it twice because, like I said, my nephew fucked up my first one. But when I was actually going through the speech and I was reading it, I was getting sick to my fucking stomach just as I was reading it. And I ain't even think I was gonna be able to carry on with the shit that I was gonna be talking about. And actually, the subject that I was going to go on was Tony Khan and AEW, and I mentioned it a little bit. Then so much real shit just started coming out that I just couldn't do it. And then I'm like, I just started getting a headache, and Negro was up here, and I kind of said too much and vented exactly how I felt about certain shit, and I didn't, so I just went on and just erased the whole fucking thing because I started getting on my people and all that. You know what I'm saying? It is frustrating. It's frustrating, and I noticed that all we do is talk. People. And like I said, we're doing it on their platforms. I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't on this platform. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? So even if we was to develop solution, they already 60 steps, 100,000 steps ahead. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Project 2025. That's why I say, like, is they attach it to Donald Trump, but maybe it's a scare tactic because Donald Trump always denied it. Who's to say that Kamala Harris or Tim Walz is not going to implement Project 2025? You got to know that the stimulus that Kamala Harris is operating under is not for Indian people. It's not for Jamaican people, which is what she is. Because America is not for Indian people. And America is not for Jamaican people. She already made it clear that it's not for black people. She can't specifically do anything for black people. She said that. Because she said that whatever benefits black people benefits all people. So she's not going to do anything for black people. So, America would tell black people that we don't contribute to American society, yet you won't give us the opportunity to repair what's old, repair your debt, reparations, give us the proper money, give us the proper land, allow us to build and create things for America, right? Contribute, I meant to say. Contribute to America properly instead of this bootstrap shit, which individuals have always been able to do, right? Not a group, individuals. Like most of these NBA teams are owned by groups. Grant Hill is in a group of owners. The Minnesota Timberwolves, who even over the Celtics, Kevin Garnett give his loyalty to, would not allow him, even with his white or Jewish group, to buy in to the Timberwolves. You aware of that?
Mm. No.
He was open about it. So you could look that up yourself. He was open about it. And we talking about he came with white folk or Jews or Jews. He came with them. And they won't allow it because of him specifically. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But when you think of the Timberwolves, do you think of Cat and Anthony Davis,
No, you think
Edwards,
Kevin Garnett?
off rip? And eventually they're gonna have you thinking of Anthony Edwards, but Anthony Edwards ain't gonna have no interest in buying that team. And if he did, he'll probably get the same treatment, or he will be dead. America prevents. So it is very frustrating to think about. You gotta know, man. I got a headache every fucking time that I do this shit. I talk to people in the world, and I talk to people in my city personally. I talk to people in my state personally. I speak at different places. I do things, and then I look at the state of our community and what is and what it's been and how it got there, and it is frustrating. But when you do what some of these coons do, or just forget about it, ignore it. And how could you? But ignore it, or can't help but to put a foot forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To do something about it in fear, or just knowing you can't do anything about it because of what you may fear. It is frustrating, but at the same time, it's attractive. I would wish to have a conversation strictly about wrestling. But then when we get to a key area, you got to think. Like I said, I wanted a lot. I told Duke, nature is gonna take its course. And the second that he mentioned the women's division, I instantly had to think Athena. I instantly had to think, where's Negroes at in the women's division? When he brought up the commentators, and I don't think I brought up race then, but when he brought up the commentators, and Duke said something very important too before he left. I didn't get a chance to elaborate because he had to go. Creative, producers, cameramen, referees. You know, they got Daphne out there, and they got that black man from in AEW out there, but that's it. And so when you think of female referees, white folk, and handkerchief peccatile niggers is still thinking about Jessica Kerr.
But they got a sister in WWE too, I think. They got a
Huh?
sister that's in WWE.
No, that's what I was talking about, Daphne. But I said that when you think of, I think Jessica Kerr main evented a pay per view a couple of months ago, and she's the first woman, but the attraction is fucking Daphne. You know what I'm saying? But she's still the only one. And I don't know, Count, I forgot what his name was, but Count, just thinking about it, and it may be on YouTube, but I think this is the same. I'm gonna send you that video. I'm gonna find that video and send it to you. But I think that's the same dude I talked to a couple of years ago. And he specifically brought up Bianca Belair, and I cut him off immediately. Nigga, you talking about one person. And then he got to stumbling, fumbling and shit after that. He did that before. I think I talked to him
Who are
before.
you talking about?
His name was Count something. He was on your space.
Oh, you talking about on the Bad Blood review? Come on.
Huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he mentioned
yeah.
Bianca. That was the one. That's the what I just talked about earlier. He was talking about how Vince booked her better and all that crap. Yeah.
And I think I talked to him before about the exact same thing just a couple of years ago. I'm gonna find that video on probably tomorrow. I'm gonna find that video and
You
send it to
talked to
you
him
tomorrow.
before?
You tell me if that's the same person, huh?
You talked to him before?
Yes, like 2 years ago, like 2022 or
I don't
2021 or
know.
some shit.
Well, he a
20.
big Roman Reigns fan. That's
He, I want to know what his background is. Is he mixed or some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? But he tried to bring that Bianca Belair shit up to me before. I think that's his voice. I know that's his voice. So, like I said, when I find that video, you could tell me if it is or not. And he used that same argument. And but the point of me saying all of that is because if that's the same person, and I think it was around 2022, and his argument, like I said, I shut that shit down quick, but his argument was still just Bianca Belair. That shows you the mindset of American Negro wrestling fans to where that shows the mindset of American Negro wrestling fans to the point to where we are just willing to settle. And that's the direction that I don't want you to go into. Even though I feel what you're saying, it is frustrating, but we still can't just settle. And that's what I was telling you about Montez Ford and all of them. If y'all don't do it right now, at this moment, when Triple H told you what time it was, then what type of effect do you think we're going to have when we are eliminated in 2028 completely? You understand what I'm
yeah.
saying? I mean, I get your frustration, and I'm frustrated too. I just put up the last video that clipped out of something that we was talking about on the other video. Like, I'm frustrated. I'm tired. This is a hiatus. I need to take a hiatus from the wrestling aspect. And the only reason why I'm doing it right now is because Triple H told us what time it was, and 100% of the people, including you, still watch the WWE. You can't help it. And in 5 years, beyond this 2028, in 5 years, when wrestling, whatever is presented on TV, AEW, WWE, TNA, if another promotion come up, when there is no black American wrestlers, none, not Bianca Belair, not Montez Ford, not R-Truth, not Xavier Woods, Naomi, when there is none of them, then what is your fight going to be? Your fight is going to be tough when there's no Jakara Jackson because she suck. When there's no Lash Legend because she suck. This is what they're going to present, right? And their justification for the release. No elevation with Bianca Belair, no elevation with Montez Ford. How much harder do you think your fight is going to be? The momentum is now when Triple H told you that you do not exist. He told you that. The degenerate, the degenerate, the self proclaimed degenerates told you that you do not exist. So if niggas don't step right now, as frustrating as it may be, if you don't step right now, you never gonna step. You 36. By 2030, by 2028, you gonna be 40. You gonna be that 40-year-old man on this motherfucking app talking about the injustices against black American Negroes in wrestling. You feel me?
Yeah. I thought it was a rhetorical question.
It is a rhetorical question. That's why I asked if you feel me.
Yeah. I definitely listening. Definitely feel you on that.
So, like I said, I get it. This is an escape, but this isn't.
You still there?
I am. I hit the quick pitch right quick, but it's an escape. Just like that was. That shit had to escape, or else it wasn't about to make it. But it is an escape. Wrestling is an escape, but it is an escape that we got to think of generations to come. Like I said, wrestling is a white supremacist organization altogether, and images show you that black people are weak or non-existent. That's why we wrestle with racism. And I don't want my children to come, just like we are coming to the realization that the Undertaker is a racist. But we cannot deny the Undertaker's work, in which, so when we find out that he is a racist, we still got to give him a pass somewhere. That shit got to end somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So now it's time. And that's why I recognize you. So I appreciate you and I understand your frustration on a lot of shit, but it can't stop. So we're gonna die one way or another. So might as well die on the right side of history,
Yeah.
right?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm starting to get a little tired, bro.
I'm out. That's the best way I could end that. Might as well die on the right side of the motherfucking history, right?
Yeah.
So I gotta work tomorrow, but if you are available, you got my number, call
Okay,
me.
man. Man.
We'll work everything else out from there.
All
All
right,
right.
man. You stay safe.
You too. For everybody else, I want you to remember, just protect one you protect yourself as an individual. Everyone else protect one another as family. And as our ancestor, Frankie Beverly, stated decade after decade after decade, that we